just newspapers will tell their people about America right now, but this is a couple of them. Trump tells top brass U.S. cities should be military, quote, training grounds. Novice defense secretary lectures the brass on what it takes to win. What does the world see when they look to that not so shiny city on a hill right now?
Unfortunately, they're probably laughing. I mean, our enemies are taking great solace in what's going on right now, China and Russia, and they know that America is weakening. Our world status is weakening every day that Donald Trump remains in power. That's all there is to it, really. You know, Russia is growing stronger. You got people like Netanyahu that essentially heretofore would have asked permission to do the things that he did. And now he just tells them afterwards, you know, because he knows that Donald Trump isn't going to do anything. And then Donald Trump invites, you know, Putin over to Alaska, rolls out the red carpet, and then, you know, continues to bomb the Ukrainians as ever before. So, I mean, it's really sad to see that the United States is going downhill so fast. And I think that our enemies have noticed this, and they're going to be filling the void.
You know, Amy, I keep an eye on the polls because it's interesting to me how quickly Trump is moving away from things that were popular enough to get him elected a second time. And military occupations of American cities was never part of it, right? Retribution was, and it's heinous and horrible and detrimental and makes people around the world laugh at us and makes it unlikely that we'll be lecturing any other democracy about the rule of law anytime soon. But the use of the military is a real sort of hairpin turn in the road, even for Trump. There was a lot written in books by Esper and others, other journalists, about how Trump wanted to use the military, how he wanted to bring the military into American cities, and shouting matches erupted between General Milley and Mark Esper, between Stephen Miller and others. And one of the things that's so notable is that no one is shouting anymore, right? Pete Hegseth is the opening act for Donald Trump, who comes in there and says things that at the end of the day are embarrassing for Donald Trump and politically weakening and diminishing for Donald Trump and weakening Donald Trump's ability to advocate for the United States of America on the world stage, damaging U.S. national security. What is the first step in making the country strong again?
Well, that's a very good question. And it's a question that a lot of us have been thinking about for a while now. I've talked to people every day, and so many people are just, they're sort of beside themselves with what is going on in our country. And when you ask me, you know, what's the first step to making it better? I think it's having people be informed and standing up and saying enough is enough. We have to do that. Everyday people have to do that. And I talk to Trump voters. I talk to people who are on both sides of the aisle here in Kentucky. And when it comes to the use of our military, there's this feeling of like, this isn't something they voted for. This isn't something that they wanted done. And that's true for a lot of policies that he's pushing down, but particularly with the military, we have this sense of we don't really want our troops in the streets of America. You know, we don't want this federal massed force in the streets of America, throwing people to the ground like we're some third world country. I mean, people do get that, whether you are wearing a red jersey or a blue jersey. We want to tackle crime, but this isn't the way to do it, and people get that. So I think the first step is just standing up and having, you know, folks in the military, not currently in, but retired, saying, hey, this isn't America. This isn't what we should be using our military for.